Hi everyone! Today we are going to be reading the book The Brand New Kid by Kate Couric. In this book, the main character Laszlo is the new kid at the school. Before I even start reading, I know what it feels like to be a new kid at school. Before I started being a teacher at this school, I had no idea what I was doing and I did not have any friends yet. It made it really hard during the beginning, but eventually the others accepted me and we became good friends. I just made a text-to-self connection so I can better understand how Laszlo is feeling throughout the book. When I make a text-to-self connection, I look at the information given to me in the book and think about a time when I had a similar experience or feeling. I can think about what I was feeling or doing during that time to help me imagine how Laszlo is feeling or what he is doing. Our learning target today is to create a connection between the character's experiences or feelings to my own experiences or feelings to help me better understand what the text is saying. Now, you are going to try a little bit before we start reading. Was there ever a time when you did not have any friends yet and were scared or didn't know what to do? Turn to your partner and tell them about your connection. Now that you've talked about it, how do your own feelings or experiences help you to understand what Laszlo is going through? Turn and talk to your partner again. I'm so excited that you are already able to make connections to this book. Let's read more to find out if we can make any more text-to-self connections. Ellie McSnelly and Carrie O'Toole were running and laughing their first day of school. Was today, and they wondered just what was in store. Would this be a good year? Would school be a bore? They kept fingers crossed they'd be in the same class, and on a big table that they had to pass, they checked to find out to which room they should go. McSnelly, 240. O'Toole, I don't know. Oh, here it is, dear. You're 240 as well. They squealed with delight. Oh, gee, this was swell! 240 meant they would both have Miss Kincaid, the best teacher by far in the whole second grade. They took their seats quickly. Miss Kincaid called the roll. Emily Allen, here. Tyler Antle, here. Peter Barzinski. Raquel Brooks, here too. She went down the list until she was all through. Then she got to the boy who was not in her book. We have a new student. They all turned to look. His name is a different one, Laszlo S. Gasky. He's new to our school in the town of Delaski. Please welcome him here. Won't you all please say hi? But the students just turned and stared at the new guy. His hair was so blonde, why it looked almost white. It stuck out all over. It didn't look right. His lips were bright pink, his eyes very blue. He looked at his feet and he fidgeted too. He was quiet at first and then yelled out, "Hello!" His voice booming so loud it made Ellie say, "Whoa!" The other kids laughed. Gee, this new boy was weird. Too different and strange to fit in, they all feared. I'm wondering how Laszlo might be feeling right now. I think I can make a text-to-self connection here. I remember going to my first day of first grade at a new school and the other students were laughing at me for wearing all pink clothes. When that happened, I felt sad and like I would never make new friends. I wonder if Laszlo is feeling the same way since the other students are laughing at him right now. Now, class, Miss Kincaid said, her voice shrill and tight. Let's focus on learning and getting things right. She turned from the students. White chalk was her tool. As she wrote, "Welcome back to Brookhaven School." They sharpened their pencils and picked up their books. All morning long they kept shooting him looks. They headed to gym class, a quick softball game. When they went to pick teams, no one mentioned his name. I can make another text-to-self connection here. Laszlo was not picked for a team during gym class. I was not picked for a team during gym class a lot during 4th grade. The other kids were not my friends yet, so they didn't want me to be on their team. I felt upset during that time, and I think Laszlo feels the same way. He looks like he is walking away sad, so I know he is upset. At lunch, Ricky Jensen, who thought he was cool, made everyone laugh when he shouted, "Hey, fool!" As Laszlo was leaving the line with his tray, someone tripped him. His food, it went every which way. The students all froze as they saw Laszlo's face, with french fries and ketchup all over the place. So these first weeks were lonely for this brand new kid. They made fun of him, all that he said and he did. So he kept his head bowed and stopped trying to please, and simply prepared for the next taunt and tease. Has there ever been a time where you or someone you knew sat alone at lunch? How did you or the other person feel? Do you think that Laszlo feels the same way, and how do you know that? One day after school, Ellie walked out the door and she saw someone she hadn't seen before, a lady whose face looked so tired and worn. She had tears in her eyes and she seemed so forlorn. "Who is that?" Ellie asked of a student she saw. "Oh, that's Laszlo's mother," said Susie McGraw. "Her son's having trouble. She might pull him out. This school may be wrong for him. She's full of doubt." Ellie watched Mrs. Gasky as she walked toward her car. She thought about how things were going so far, about Laszlo and how he felt different and strange, and wondered aloud just what she could arrange. I'm looking at Laszlo's mom being really upset, and I'm going to make a text-to-self connection. In 2nd grade, I had a new girl in my class who was very quiet, and a lot of people made fun of her for that. I saw her mom driving away from the school crying after dropping the girl off. I can only think that the mom was sad about her daughter being picked on. I felt bad and decided to sit with the girl at lunch so she would feel better. I hope something like this happens for Laszlo and his mother. "I've got it," she said. "I'll ask him to play at my house or his after school ends one day." The next morning she walked up to him at his locker. "Would you like to come over and maybe play soccer?" Stunned, he said, "Please come to my house and play." So Ellie said, "Sure, I can. Let's pick a day." "How about Thursday?" he asked with a smile, a look that hadn't been on his face in a while. Have you ever had someone ask you to play with them? How did that make you feel? Did you feel the same way that Laszlo feels since he is smiling? They walked home from school with their books in their arms, passing meadows and fields and a couple of farms. They arrived at his door, greeted by his French poodle, and Mrs. Gasky was there with a plate of warm strudel. As they munched on the pastry, they made quite a mess, and Laszlo said, "Do you know how to play chess?" Ellie said, "Yes, but I am not all that great." "That's okay," he replied, and he soon said, "Checkmate." The afternoon ended. Ellie said, "This was fun." Laszlo just smiled and said, "Hey, thanks a ton for coming to my house and being my friend at a school in a town where I just don't fit in." I'm going to make one last text-to-self connection that is also part of my last one. When Ellie and Laszlo are playing and Laszlo says that he is happy to have made a friend, it reminded me of that girl from 2nd grade. After I sat with her at lunch, we started hanging out every day. While other kids kept making fun of her, we became really good friends, and she is still my best friend today. I feel happy that I could help my friend feel better in a bad time, and I know she was happy to have a friend. At school the next day, the kids stopped her and said, "You were walking with Laszlo. Are you sick in the head?" Ellie paused and replied, "Now I know him, you see. Laszlo isn't that different from you and me. He's terrific at chess, and his mom's really sweet. Playing soccer, the guy doesn't have 2 left feet. He might look slightly strange, have an accent and stuff, but if you knew him, you'd like him. It wouldn't be tough." Carrie looked at her friend and she thought for a while, and when Laszlo walked up, she gave him a big smile. Hey Ellie, hey Laszlo, do you want to go play? And they all walked outside on a beautiful day. Is there a time when you finally felt accepted or made many new friends? I noticed that Laszlo is smiling and has a lot of other kids around him. How do you think he feels? And did you feel the same way during your experience?